Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Unconventional Counseling. Today we're going to do a new moon in Gemini, pick a card reading. We're using the Modern Witch Tarot deck, the Hoodoo Tarot deck to clarify, the Fallback deck from the Cancerian shop for affirmations, the Animal Spirit Oracle deck to see what animal spirits are working with us, and the Moonology Oracle deck as well. Let's get into our prayer while we shuffle. Pick our piles. Divine Alchemist, Angels and Archangels, Celestial Family, Ascended Masters, and Spirit Animals. Thank you for yet another day where you freely give us guidance, support, and care. Thank you for being our community and paving the way for our soul tribe to come in. They are welcome, as are you. Help me to channel a clear, concise, and powerfully healing message for those in the collective on their ascension journeys. And remind us to hold in our hearts and minds that we are from you, we are a part of you, and we are on a journey that will return us to you. Help us to keep the perspective that we're here to learn, experience, heal, grow, and ascend. Help us to hold the duality of being in this world, but not of it. The highest praise to our guides, to our teams, to our celestial families, to our spirit animals, our divine protectors, and of course, to you, Holy Spirit. We are all we are because of you. Ashe. I really love the shuffling process because it's hard to stay in your head. It brings you right into your intuition, helps you connect very quickly to your instinct, and just kind of go with your gut feeling. For picking a card, for knowing how many to pick, and just kind of going off of the sensation and what feels right, what seems right in that very moment. It also feels pretty meditative. Okay, so our piles are picked. Now you can go ahead and pick your pile or piles, whichever that you feel drawn to. And in addition, we have some crystals for each pile. So with pile number 1, we have the moonstone. With pile number 2, I believe this is red jasper. With pile number 3, we have tourmaline. And with pile number 4, we have rose quartz. Give yourself a moment and pick whichever pile resonates for you. The new moon in Gemini will be conjunct the sun in Gemini at 9 degrees on May 30th. Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury and is considered an external processor. When Gemini is in Mercury, thoughts come to the surface and beg to be expressed. At this point, in Mercury's retrograding transit, Mercury is moving through the sign of Taurus, and it will remain there until Mercury retrograde officially ends on June 30th. June 3rd. So there may be lots of thoughts about finances, self-care, work-life balance, and rest. This Gemini new moon is sextiling Chiron, Mars, and Jupiter in Aries. With these energies all working together and supporting each other, internal conversation may shift to spaces of curiosity, asking questions like, how do I plan for this upcoming change? Or how can I better prioritize my needs while I also tend to my responsibilities? Along this several-week adventure that we're all on, you may find that you have some bright ideas about your healing. Some of these ideas and beliefs may be ones you're rediscovering, ones that you've had before, but at or around this time, you may feel more of an urge or impulse to act on them, or to plan to act on them when Mercury goes direct. Now, let's get into our reading. Hello, pile number 1. Since you were drawn to this reading, you're also drawn to the Moonstone crystal. And the Moonstone represents inner clarity and cyclical change. It's a stone for new beginnings, and it can support us in soothing and stabilizing our emotions. It can also promote a feeling of calm within us. So let's hope that it provides that energy throughout this reading. Let's get into it. Void of course, moon. Nothing will come of this situation. So, every 2.5 days or so, the moon changes sign. It changes zodiac sign. And the period between the change is called the void of course. It's when it seems like there is no movement happening, even though we know that it's on its way somewhere. So there may be a sense of stagnancy that you're feeling at this time, pile number 1. It may feel like you're not moving anywhere. And what I can already sense from this card is that there's more than one possibility for the answer. This isn't just all bad, And I really do believe that, especially with tarot and astrology, we don't have to make things fatalistic. So let me read in the book some things that it says, and as we continue to get into our reading. A void of course moon means nothing will come of this matter, or this situation will bear no fruit. This may or may not be good news, depending on what you're asking about. For example, if you were worried about something, whatever it was, this card can be taken as a sign that there is nothing to worry about. However, if you're asking about a new project of any kind, it's a sign to adjust your expectations. Okay. This makes sense. Okay, so we've got the 10 of Swords, which already is bringing up the cyclical nature of relationships. We have the 5 of Pentacles, which usually represents abandonment. We have the 10 of Pentacles, okay. And we have the Three of Cups. Wow. It feels like there's a split between these two energies. Let's clarify. We have the Father of Baskets, also known as the King of Cups, which usually is a significant sign of emotional growth, progress, and stability. We have Railroad Bill, which is the Chariot reversed. Which is all about forward momentum when it's upright. So it can also mean stagnancy when it's reversed. You have the Three of Knives, or the Three of Swords. Every time I see this card, the first thing I think of is heartbreak. Then we have the Three of Coins. Okay. Three of Coins, usually what I think of is collaboration. So right away I feel like there are at least two readings in this reading. So I'll start with the worry, because I'm picking up a sense of worry on this side. So if there's something that you're worried about, pile number one, the thing you're worried about won't happen. It's pretty easy to say, right? Like, what you're worried about probably won't happen. But when you think about the past times that you've been worried, 100% of the time, the things did not happen. Maybe they happened sometimes. Maybe they happened differently than you expected. But it wasn't every time that you were really worried, the exact thing that you were worried about happens. If you're worried that the same karmic cycle will repeat in a relationship or a situation, recognize that you've actually stepped into your emotional power. And you did it a while ago, pal number one. The situation that you're in may feel very similar, but you're different. What are some ways that you're different now? I love that as a journaling prompt. But I'm also curious. I'm curious to see if we can clarify with some more cards what themes might come out. Five of Wands, Strength, the Sun, and the Hanged One. Okay, so some of the ways that you're different right off the bat, especially in your emotional body, pile number one, are that you know more about each part of you. There are different parts that each of us have within, and maybe in the past it felt like these parts were ruling and they were doing their own thing. But what I'm sensing in this energy is each part has a role. They each fight different, they show up different, and that you recognize that you are not your parts. The parts make up your internal world. You are dressed differently. Pile number one. You're moving differently. Right? This part that's holding this wand is just kind of holding it up. Like, hey, I got a wand. This part has a wand is also holding it, but with a little bit more power in their stance. This part seems like they're very softly fighting with another part, like, okay, I'm gonna throw this at you. This part wants to join the fight, but is a little far back. You are fighting very differently than any other part. You're allowing physics to support you. You're winding up. You're taking your time. When you land this blow, when you speak this wisdom to these parts of you, it's very possible that all of their wands would fall out of their hands because each of them aren't holding it with as much strength as you are. Like, it looks like your body you have your center of gravity in a different way. You just look more skilled with how you're holding it. So one way that you're different than you were in the past, pile number one, is you know how to stand your ground, and you know what you're up against in terms of your internal dialogue, your internal negative self-talk. You have more internal strength than ever before. Sometimes you're happy. And it may not be as difficult as it was in the past to change your perspective or to consider a new vantage point. These are the ways that you're different, pile number one. Just to let you know, just to speak to how this situation may go differently than it has in the past. I know it's Mercury retrograde, and during Mercury retrograde, you might be experiencing a renewed or a revisiting mental pattern where you're feeling easily triggered and you're scared that someone might just up and leave, or that something that feels like a sense of security would just end in misfortune. Know that when Mercury goes retrograde and puts us back in internal spaces like this, that are similar as before, it's meant to bring things to the surface for our healing. This fear of being abandoned is reflecting an internal experience of hopelessness and a desire for life or for others to tend to you a bit more. And that's an important need. That's a beautiful desire that you have. And it's important that it's met. But first, it needs to be communicated to the people in your life. I imagine that you having this need of having more support from people, of having more care and tenderness from people or from life, is coming up because it was something that you didn't receive as a younger person. And I'm sorry for that, pile number one. That's not fair. It's not fair to have experienced so much heartbreak, so much disappointment. It's not fair to be ignored or to experience so much neglect. It's really painful. However, you may be projecting the past pain onto your present reality and therefore onto your future. So if you're worried that you'll be abandoned, please hear me when I say, as you stand now, as a father of baskets, with this Five of Wands energy, with this strength, with this sun, with this Hanged One energy, you, pile number one, are unabandonable. You can't be left. By this I mean, if someone were to choose to leave, or if a connection were to end, if a project were to fall through, if income decreases for a season, you, pile number one, are incredibly resourceful. You've had moments and stretches and periods of more confidence. You've experienced your visionary nature in action. You have witnessed within yourself a level of persistence, strength, and determination that has surprised you and delighted you at times. You've been practicing discipline, pile number one. And so if any of the worries that you have would come to pass, you would find a way. You would find a person, you would find an opportunity, or one would come to you. If there's something that you're asking about, that you're really excited about, that you feel almost a level of need and desperation, that this thing has to happen and it has to be amazing and it has to be perfect. With this 10 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups, 3 of Knives, and 3 of Coins, your guidance may be to adjust your expectations. Sometimes when we see the 10 of Pentacles and the 3 of Cups, we may be overindulging in an idea, in an emotional experience, in an expectation of what our material reality will become. And we can assume that only positivity and material abundance are going to come through, that only perfection will persist. Fortunately, nothing and no one is perfect and without fault. So to view the situation this way might end up leading to disappointment or grief. So it's important to adjust your expectations. Not to say there is no good possible or that there's no good happening, there's no good on its way. Just to adjust them. Something you might do to adjust your expectations is to notice what's already feeling good and abundant and celebratory in your life. What are you already grateful for? Just to take some of the charge off of this blessing and off of the future. What already feels like it's working well for you? Pile number 1. Let's clarify with some more cards. Ooh, the 9 of Swords reversed. Knight of Wands, 10 of Swords, 2 of Pentacles. So right away what I'm sensing is an end to a sense of weariness and fatigue. It's coming to an end. There is a newfound passion maybe. Maybe that's another thing to celebrate. You're feeling a renewed energy towards what you want to create or do. 10 of Swords. So now this has come out twice in this reading. The 10 of Swords can be read as something positive or something good or something to celebrate in the sense of this is the end of the pain. This is the end of the karmic cycles. This is the end of continuously repeating the same cycles. That's something to celebrate. And the 2 of Pentacles, having more balance. So these are wonderful, wonderful things to notice, wonderful things to celebrate if these things resonate for you. Pile number 1. Another thing you can do to adjust expectations or to work with this energy, pile number 1, is to allow for reciprocity in the dynamic or the situation. So instead of viewing the person, place, or thing as perfect, you can do your best to the best of your ability and capacity. Do what you can, and then be open and receptive to what the other party contributes. And then get some rest and check in with how you feel. Once you have some space and some rest, you may find that with all of these data points, you might decide to move a bit different with how much you give. Maybe you gave so generously from your heart and the situation or the person or the thing really let you down, or only gave a little bit and it seemed like they had more capacity to offer more. Well, with those data points, you might decide to give a little different or to give in a different way. Or you might notice through this practice that there is a wonderful generosity and mutuality within the experience. And maybe that might be cause for celebration because it could be a first for you. Pile number 1. What if you adjust your expectations to welcome that the worst may be over in terms of painful endings, emotional trauma, intense disrespect, rejections, or even negative self-talk? What if they're all in the past and something new is happening right now? Maybe you're learning how to tend to you. Maybe you're asking for support and receiving it. Maybe you're healing and you're more aware than ever before that you are. What if you adjust your expectations to be open to receiving some validation from others, especially after you ask for reassurance or care? I'm sensing that some validation and recognition may be coming through from other people, especially ones that you respect. Either way, however this reading is resonating for you, whether in the worry or in the adjusting of expectations, trust that all is working out for your highest good. Pile number 1. Now, let's check in with our animal spirit guides. Fish. Okay. Fish. Water element. Restlessness, change of focus, lost in the current. If you're feeling out of balance with this energy, you may be highly distractible and change your mind often. And this feels newer or different than what you're used to. The roaming lifestyle of the fish may be exhilarating for a while, but it usually leads to weariness and slippery relationships. Spend some time with the lunar forces, as the peace and calm of the moon may soothe your soul and some of this worry that's arisen for you. Pile number 1. Something that may support your self-soothing at this time is to set a small goal and accomplish it. When you have a clear goal and you set an intention to move towards it, it can create a sense of satisfaction within you, and this usually leads to feeling a sense of gratitude. And worry and gratitude kind of repel each other. So choose the one that feels better within, pile number 1, and then keep practicing it. You'll know this fish energy is in balance when you feel adaptable and flexible. I love that. All right. The cobra. Nice. Cobra. Fire element. Pausing, waiting, the inner teacher. The cobra is a spiritual guardian that hovers and watches, ever present, ever protecting, and ever loving. What are you ready to learn? Pile number 1. You know that phrase, when the student is ready, the teacher appears? If this cobra energy is out of balance right now in your life, you may notice you're feeling egocentric, where it feels like everything is about you and everything is happening to you. To bring this energy into balance, you may want to seek some spiritual guidance. You may want to study a subject that you're interested in, or to take a class in something that will further your skill set, your emotional regulation, or that you find fun. You'll know when this energy is in balance because you'll feel humble yet wise. All right, and lastly, we have the phoenix. How appropriate. That's beautiful. Phoenix, ether element. Freedom from suffering and past karma. The phoenix represents the transformation of our past. This is the energy that this new moon in Gemini is ushering in for you. Pile number 1. Absolutely. The Phoenix helps us burn through emotional baggage and no longer run from who we are, what has happened to us, or what we've done. The stuckness and dead weight fall into the ashes, and a lightness and clarity emerge. The Phoenix lifts our spirits, and we begin to recognize ourselves again. We may catch a glimmer in our eye that wasn't there before. Pile number 1, have you tried mirror work? Have you ever looked in the mirror to specifically look in your own eyes? It's a vulnerable, intimate, and really tender practice. You discover a lot about yourself and how you feel being witnessed by you as you're doing so. It might feel easy, emotional, difficult, strange, but it for sure will be interesting. Give it a try. You might find out something. Now, for our affirmations. Trust the wait. Just when the caterpillar thought her life was over, she began to fly. Embrace the uncertainty. When nothing is certain, anything is possible. You are transforming. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Pile number 1. Transformation can be really uncomfortable. Then, some guidance. What can you do very soon? You can sweat it out. Get out of your head, get out of that worry, pile number 1, and get into your body. Practice yoga. Exercise frees the mind. I love that for you, pile number 1. Well, that's our reading. If you are drawn to another pile, I'll see you very soon. And if this is where we part, I'll catch y'all in the future. Take good care. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. You being drawn to this reading, you're also drawn to red jasper. This stone is considered the stone of endurance, and it supports us in finding balance, courage, strength, and stamina. Red is also connected to our root chakras, so it may also promote a stabilizing energy to encourage a greater feeling of personal safety. Let's get into our reading. Full moon eclipse. Conclusions are within reach. So immediately I'm thinking of the full moon lunar eclipse that we had in Scorpio just 2 weeks ago. I get the sense that maybe there's a follow-up or a deeper clarification of how that full moon is impacting you. You know, it's possible that if there's a situation that you're thinking about or asking about at this time, it's about to reach a climax or a peak, or that it just has maybe within the past week or 2. Allow these events to unfold. Pile number 2, no matter how difficult it may feel, be easy on yourself. Okay. You have the world. Okay. When I see the world card, I think about the phrase, the world is your oyster. And I think of healing. The Ace of Wands, nice. Makes me think of passion, creativity, potential, death. Death is also in alignment with Scorpio energy, which we were just talking about. So, endings, beginnings. And the Empress. I always think of abundance when I see this card. So let's clarify these energies. Five of Sticks. This also came out in pile number 1. So if you were also drawn to pile number 1, I would recommend you looking at that, listening to that reading. The Five of Sticks represents an energy of conflict, whether inner conflict or conflict between you and another person or other people. We have the Son of Knives, or the Page of Swords. This is a prickly energy. It tends to provoke, for good or ill. Father of Knives, or the King of Swords as well. What I think of is assertiveness. And lastly, we have Aunt Caroline, or the Wheel of Fortune. I often think of just the cyclical nature of life and how divine timing is just about always a factor in our manifestations. So with this Five of Sticks, I'm sensing that there was maybe some conflict that was illuminating, that came up within the past few weeks or the past month. And with this World card, this Five of Sticks clarifying this World card, or reverse, the World card clarifying the Five of Sticks, I get this sense that maybe you successfully attempted to find some common ground with someone. Whether you successfully tried to do it or you succeeded in doing so, finding that common ground. I consider both a success on your end, pile number 2. And so maybe now there's an easing of tension between you and the other person or other people, or there is more clarity around the shift that has occurred between y'all and maybe what's not possible at this time. This would be a really good time to create a gratitude list, to recognize how far you've come and how much faith in yourself, in your guides, or in source or your higher power you've grown in over this time and over this experience. It's not easy to have conflict with those near and dear to you. But even if things are still really difficult and tense or hard or awkward, it doesn't mean that you haven't been successful in terms of your journey. So with this Ace of Wands and Son of Knives, I'm really sensing that around the time of this new moon, you may be experiencing an energy where you'll be feeling more creative and finding a sense of flow, or you may receive or create a new opportunity to harness your passion and express yourself. Maybe it'll be connected to this conflict or this loss, this awkwardness, whatever's illuminated. Maybe you'll create something from the pain or from the tension that you've experienced. Now with this Death and the Father of Knives, or King of Swords, I'm sensing there's a marked end to a feeling that you don't know what you want. Let's say in this relationship dynamic or within this situation, you're real clear now. And I'm sensing a new beginning for you around honoring your needs, asserting your needs, and knowing, naming, and maintaining your boundaries. Maybe this conflict came up because someone or some institution was crossing or violating your boundaries. Maybe through this experience, you were discovering what some of your boundaries are. They were just getting more and more clear with each passing piece of this experience, aspect of this experience. And it sucks, but it's also yielding you as the empress. These practices of gratitude, of self-love, of naming and asserting your boundaries and recognizing your needs, growing in faith within yourself, recognizing your worth. Like, there is a clearer sense of your purpose that's emerging at this time, the time of the new moon, or that's the energy that this new moon is ushering in for you. You're going to have this sense, a clearer sense of what you feel called to do, be, or create in this incarnation. So this is another reason why a gratitude practice is coming up as guidance. Because if there was a whole fight, something that crossed your boundaries and violated your boundaries, and you showed up with kindness and compassion, you showed up with care, you showed up to try to mend bridges and not put up walls between you and another person or a situation or an experience, but instead to find more unity and love, and it's still not working out, it's still not easeful, then all there is left for you to do is to sit pretty and to know that you did the best you could, you did the most you could, and there's nothing left for you to do within that situation. You can celebrate yourself and how far you've come, absolutely. You can grieve as well, because the death card is out. You can grieve if the grief comes up, if it comes in waves. But know that the endings, the closure, the conclusions are right here. They're right in front of you. Let's see what animal spirit guides are here with you at this time through this process. The cheetah. Love this. Fire element. Solar force. Action and achievement. The sun doesn't just shine on the cheetah, it shines from within and it expands outward. The cheetah personality naturally attracts an audience to bear witness to their remarkable achievements. If this energy is feeling out of balance, you may be feeling impatient and competitive. To bring this energy into balance, you can reconnect to your purpose. Maybe you're finding your purpose for the first time, pile number 2. Or maybe you're finding language for it for the first time with this Gemini energy that we're in. You'll know this energy is in balance when you feel a sense of boundless energy and you have a belief resonating within you that you can achieve anything. Ashe. Next, we have the golden egg. Ooh. Ooh. Ether element. Message at the center of the heart. Deep within the golden egg lies a precious sound, and within that sound there's a message. We can only hear and discern this message when we retreat from our daily life and find a sense of restful ease or quiet. Engaging with this energy requires that we practice becoming comfortable with our vulnerability. It is said that our inner guide sits deep in meditation within our heart center, waiting for us. If you can, pile number 2, have a personal retreat. It can be as big as your time and energy allows, or it can be as simple as possible. You can go for a walk and be mindful, noticing the creatures in the trees, the people around you. You can sit and look out a window in your home and just watch the birds, watch the insects, just notice everything that passes by. Notice the wind in the trees and the tree leaves. Or you can close your eyes And you can find that sense of inner awareness in the stillness that might be around you, in the stillness that you might find within. Or you may find that there's a lot of chatter and a lot of noise and thoughts within, a lot of feelings. But all that there is for you to do is to notice. Lastly, we have the frog. Look at how beautiful that is. Water element. Cleansing, clearing, and healing. The frog and the water element are almost inseparable. The frog spends its first months of life entirely within this healing element, and then emerges to rest on land. But no matter how earthly the frog becomes, its need for cleansing and rejuvenation is regular. Frogs tend to become overworked and undernourished, so it's vital that such sensitive creatures practice self-care. This card serves as a reminder that water helps us cleanse, forgive, and release. Time to dive in. Frogs aren't meant to carry a heavy load. You'll know this energy is out of balance if you're feeling depleted, burnt out, or like you're running on empty. To bring this energy into balance, visit a lake, a river, an ocean, take a bath, go for a swim, take a shower, go to a bathhouse or a spa. And when in balance, you'll know this energy is in balance. When you feel your energy is clear and you have an enthusiasm for life. Now, let's read our affirmations and finish out our reading. The guidance, which you can do right now. Pile number 2. Go to nature. Take a walk. Have a picnic. Lay on the grass. Look up at the clouds. Sit with that sense of stillness. Honor that sense of stillness within or around you. Then we have, you are glowing. All eyes are on you. Receive attention and affection. Your energy is magnetic. I'm going to put that right below the cheetah. Your energy is magnetic. Pile number 2. And if you don't see that right now, you will very soon. If you are drawn to another reading, another pile in this reading, I'll catch you very soon. And if not, I'll catch you in the future. Take care. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading, and you were drawn to black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is a crystal for protection, for groundedness, to offer to us a sense of compassion or cool-headedness. And it's also connected to the root chakra. So similar to the red jasper that came up for pile number 2, you may find that through this reading, you're offered something to support your connection to your own personal safety at this time and security. Let's see what this reading has to offer. Emotions are running high. Supermoon. Ooh. So again, similar to pile number 2, I get the sense that this reading is going to be a follow-up or a deeper clarification of how the full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio is impacting you, because it was also considered a supermoon. So if you feel drawn to pile number 2, or you weren't quite sure, but now that you've heard me mention them twice, go ahead and check that one out after this reading. Let's see. supermoon. Emotions are running high. If you're wondering how successful something you're asking about is, the answer is very. Be open to the blessings. Just know that many emotions may be coming up at this time too. And pile number 3, they're coming up to be healed, to be acknowledged, to be validated and seen. So having a lot of emotions doesn't necessarily mean that something bad is happening. But it can be hard to sit with and to sit within. We have the 4 of Swords. When I see this card, I immediately think of rest. We have the 6 of Cups, sweet. I think of your connection to your inner child. Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so there's an offer coming in. And the 9 of Wands. Whew. Perseverance and fatigue doing so. Right, so the 4 of Swords is clarified by the Mother of Sticks. So this is an energy that is really determined, that is ready to keep working at something. So perhaps you're ready and determined to move towards an endeavor, but the guidance that I'm picking up is your success is more likely, the probability of your success is higher when you rest, if you choose rest, if you make time for rest. It's really hard to remember that, to keep in mind that we're not robots. Pile number 3. I feel you. I feel you on that. Okay, the 6 of Cups, we have it clarified by the Big Queen. Okay, so the Big Queen and the Mother of Sticks are actually very similar energies. Mother of Sticks is the Queen of Wands. The Big Queen, though, is considered the Empress, or the highest version of every expression of the queens. So the Queen of Sticks, the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles is all embodied within the Big Queen or Empress energy. So to see these two together, I think of your inner child and your relationship to them, and how this time of the new moon might be a really good time to reflect on how proud your inner child is of you. You've done so much, you've healed so much, you have brought so much to the surface. You aren't running anymore, or you're running less so from the things that scare you. And all of these things are things that would make your inner child smile. Maybe you were really scared as a little kid to do all sorts of things, but then you would feel a lot of regret that you wouldn't do it. Well, now maybe you're feeling the fear and you're doing it anyway, and your inner child is just like beaming, like, we did that? What? This is a really cool time to celebrate with your inner little one or inner little ones, and honor how it feels that you are living, that you are alive, that you are choosing yourself time and again. To honor how much work you've done, and to celebrate how lucky you are to be you. There's only one you, and there only will ever be one you. You are incredibly rare. You are unique and you are special. Pile number 3. Don't you forget it. So now we have the Knight of Pentacles, which is the same as the daughter. That's the Hoodoo deck. The daughter of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles. They're interchangeable. This is an offer. We have it clarified by the Four of Knives or the Four of Swords, by rest. So something is coming in through you choosing rest. Have you ever thought of, like, I'm thinking of passive income. Have you ever thought of or dreamed up you getting to live your life and money just flowing to you? Maybe this has happened to you. Pile number 3. Maybe there are times when you least expected and resources in abundance just kind of came in and came through. You were probably doing something that felt fun, that felt restful, that felt easeful. That's the energy that I'm seeing here. That it's time to take a break from being nitpicky. It's time to take a break from being a perfectionist. It's Mercury retrograde. We just had these eclipses earlier this month, and a lot is going on within us and also within the larger collective. It may not seem like the time, but there is rarely a right time to rest. It's just whenever your body, your mind, or your heart needs it. So check in. Is your body in pain? Is your mind foggy or racing? Is your heart heavy? Are you connecting to that dream of having resources flow in when you least expect it? Of having your needs be taken care of when you don't have to be watching it like a hawk? These are all signs that you might need some rest. So considering that your energy is coming through as the Mother of Sticks and the Knight of Pentacles, there is this, and the Nine of Wands, there is a sense that I'm perceiving of you that you like to use a lot of discipline, determination, commitment, detail orientation maybe in your endeavors. You like to work hard. There's something about that that brings a sense of satisfaction. So what I would offer to you, pile number 3, is the question, what's a way that you can commit to your rest? You want to bring that committed energy, that determination, all that fire, all that passion. How can you bring that energy towards your rest? Is there a way that it needs to be scheduled for you? Will you adhere to it that way? Would you like to set aside time after your rest or before your rest or during it that you're journaling and you're reflecting and processing something? Do you want to celebrate it after you've done it or while you're doing it and just be like, you know what, self, I'm so proud of you. We're doing this. How can you commit to needing rest, to choosing rest consistently? Okay, so we have the Nine of Wands, and it's clarified by the Six of Knives or the Six of Swords. You are so tired. We in the collective are so tired. It kind of feels like maybe you were recently in an energy that pile number 2 was in. If you've already listened to that reading, or if you're drawn to that reading, definitely check it out. But something that we were talking about for pile number 2 was an energy of conflict that was coming up in their life, and that they had gotten to a space of honoring their boundaries. So I'm picking up from this energy, pile number 3, that maybe you know your needs. Maybe you know your boundaries. Maybe you have defended against potential crossings of your boundaries or violations of your boundaries with a vigilance, with a determination. Maybe you've stood your ground in the space or in the face of multiple transgressions in a relationship, in a work environment, with yourself, in a partnership. You are in a space where you're making sure that no one fucks with you. So considering that the Four of Swords is coming up twice in this reading, I would offer that you have been through, or you are currently going through, a rite of passage to ensure that you take care of you first, that you are your priority consistently. And as you're coming through this portal, this passage, this waterway, know that at the time of this new moon, just naming where you're at, naming how far you've come, recognizing how hard you've worked, is cause enough for celebration, to take a break, to slow down, or to rest a while. Let's see what animal spirit guides are here for you, supporting you at this time. We have the oyster, water element. Patient, secret keeper, hiding inner treasures. The focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they achieve with grace and charm. The only problem is, oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. They become shy or doubtful, and this can lead to withdrawing or protecting their deepest desires in life's work. What is it that you've been hesitant to share? Pile number 3. If you're feeling out of balance with this energy, if you're feeling hesitant, reluctant, or you feel like you're clamming up, to bring this energy into balance, share something, especially whatever you've been hesitant to. And you'll know this energy is in balance when you feel generous, blessed, and masterful. Next, we have the dolphin. Ooh, how gorgeous. Innately intelligent, healer, light, blessings. The gifts of the dolphin are beyond what our human minds can grasp. Dolphin personalities are often drawn to the healing arts as they are sensitive to the subtle and enjoy working on the level of spirit. It's easy for dolphin types to underestimate the impact they make in the world. These creatures play such an important role in the wheel of karma that coming in contact with a dolphin type will change the entire course of your day and thus your life. This card can indicate that a profound blessing is on the way. So that's now 2 times we're hearing in this reading that there's a big blessing coming through. A beautiful big blessing. You'll know this energy is out of balance if you're underestimating your power. Pile number 3. To bring this energy into balance, surround yourself with like-minded spirits and energies. And you'll know this energy is in balance when your spiritual practice is strong and you are an active healer. It's really beautiful. And lastly, we have, the hyena, fire element. Humor, wit, and sarcasm. The hyena personality is a jokester and crowd pleaser, but below the surface, there are unfulfilled dreams to be realized. When the hyena card appears, it's time to reflect on your reliance on sarcasm and humor to express your truth. Are you using jokes to hide old resentments in relationships? Or are you using them to mask things that you feel uncomfortable discussing? What would happen if you took your goals seriously? Pile number 3. You can sense that this energy is out of balance if you're feeling petty or suspicious. To bring this energy into balance, sobriety, whatever that means for you, pile number 3. And when in balance, you'll know that you're in balance when you're feeling witty, charming, and you and others are telling you that you're fun to be around. Pile number 3, trust that success is imminent. It's so close. You just need to rest first. The probability of your success will markedly increase if you take care and you rest, you take a break. Ideas tend to flow a little smoother when you rest and allow yourself to. Let's see what affirmations we have. Pause. Take a moment. Close your eyes. Relax your body. Just breathe slowly and deeply. Can't make this stuff up. Meditate. Okay. Make time to just be. Get lost in the moment. A chill you is patient, creative, and happy, like the dolphin. That is your message for today, pile number 3. If you are drawn to pile number 2 or another reading, I will see you very soon. And if this is where we part, I'll catch y'all in the future. Take care. Bye. Hello, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading. You were drawn here, and you were also drawn to the rose quartz crystal. So rose quartz is all about unconditional love for ourselves and for those in our lives. Hopefully, we feel that heart chakra activation and that theme of love throughout this reading. Let's get into it. What do you need to release? Waning moon. So the waning moon happens just after the full moon, every lunar cycle. And it's when the light that we see that the moon is reflecting is starting to decrease. It looks just like this, as though the moon is getting smaller. So pile number 4, it feels like you've come to a part in your journey where something needs to be let go of. You know, with the full moon, something has reached a peak. The energy, the emotion, the experience. And when it starts to wane, that's the time for us to allow ourselves to move on or to begin to move forward with the understanding of whatever came to light during the full moon. This reading already is starting to feel a bit similar to pile 3, so if you also felt drawn to that pile, you may want to take a listen to that reading as well. Temperance. Wow. I think of balance when I see this card. 9 of Cups. I think of personal satisfaction. Six of Wands, okay? I think of victory. And Ace of Swords. It's all about a good breakthrough. Love that for you, pile number 4. Let's clarify. Dem Bones. So Dem Bones is the Judgment card. in the traditional tarot. So what I'm sensing is, like in terms of something you may need to release, pile number 4, is perhaps you're being asked to loosen your grip on what you expected an outcome to produce. What I'm sensing is that you're being encouraged to find more balance, especially for you emotionally, so that you can continue on this journey to prioritize your needs and to consider your needs while you also consider the needs of someone else. This is a great time to engage in conversations, thinking especially because it's Mercury retrograde and also because on this Judgment card, the person's mouth is covered. And I'm thinking, what do you need to release? Maybe you need to release silence. You know, this person is actually feeling shocked because the diviner is showing them something in these bones. But just seeing that imagery, the first thing I sensed was, it may be time to release silencing yourself in a situation or in a relationship. This is a really great time to engage in conversations with yourself internally, with your journal, with a good friend, your therapist, or whomever it is that you're hoping will just kind of stay still and stay the same. This isn't the time to cling to anyone or to exercise a sense of need over a situation going a certain way or remaining the exact same. This is the time to accept what is and to release what maybe doesn't serve you anymore. As Octavia Butler said, God is change. And it's so hard to embrace change when you were preparing for a different outcome than the one that just occurred. If that's the case for you, pile number 4, something different happened than what you expected, and it feels really hard to contend with it, be easy on yourself. Be kind to yourself. You may have put a lot of effort into that idea, that belief, that want, that desire, and now you're learning that it may not serve who you're becoming. That's hard. And it takes some time. Now, onto this personal satisfaction with the 9 of Cups. It's clarified. Ooh, that fell. It's clarified by Pa, the Moon card. When I see the Moon card, I often think, what is hidden here? So right now, I'm getting this sense that it may be difficult for you to see how you can experience a sense of personal satisfaction, considering that the manifestation you were ready for didn't come in at the time or in the way that you expected. The how may be hidden right now. But what does feel clear is the encouragement to shift from delusional or magical thinking, because the Moon card is also connected to Pisces. So Piscean energy can see the clear truth on the one hand, but in its duality can also muddle what is true and is prone to idealism. So what feels clear is this shift from delusional or magical thinking, where you're now able to hold the current reality of things, plus your needs and wants, plus your disappointments, plus your desires. It feels like your capacity is increasing. You have more cups or as people in the poly community would say, you have more spoons. Allowing for all of these feelings to exist. Let's say that this is just 9 feelings, 11 feelings, because there's 2 cups here too. 11 different feelings, 11 different perspectives and takes on what's going on in this situation. Allowing yourself to have all of them is actually a part of self-acceptance. And self-acceptance is a part of finding balance. And it also supports us in letting go. If you just let yourself have all the feelings that you're having and allow yourself to observe them all, not identify with any single one too closely, not cling to any of them, but validate them, honor them, know them to be true of part of your experience. Our feelings tend to shift when we witness them, we honor them, we support them, and we accept them as they are, and therefore ourselves. All right, what do we have clarifying? The 6 of Wands, the Daughter of Knives. Nice. Do you see all this imagery, all these hands, all this? Feels like a lot of spiritual energy around this person. This is what's clarifying your victory. This is making me think of shadow energy or ego energy, just with all of those hands, all of those arms, all of that grasping, all of that wanting. So maybe what the victory is for you, pile number 4, is a shift within your relationship to your shadow, or a shift within your relationship to your ego. A shift in terms of over-identifying with all of the emotions that are coming up in this experience. I'm sensing that you're shifting from operating at a default of maybe being insensitive or sarcastic about your own needs and wants. And the shift is now, what you're shifting to is becoming more compassionate and more kind towards yourself, and therefore to those around you too. That's awesome. Now what clarifies this Ace of Swords? The Son of Baskets. Nice. That's the Page of Cups, I believe. The traditional tarot. So the type of breakthrough that you can anticipate, or that is coming in at this time, this new moon in Gemini energy for you, pile number 4, is a breakthrough in terms of your internal landscape. Maybe before you felt detached from reality with this idealism and romanticism and magical thinking. And now there is this shift where you can be connected to this paradigm's reality while also connecting to the rich inner world that you have inside. So that you're in our prayer, right? You're in this world, but you're not of it. Perhaps what's coming in for you, pile number 4, is you being less afraid of commitment and intimacy. Whether with yourself, with your friends, with your crush, with your lover or lovers, your partner or partners. There is a place of depth, because I'm thinking of this unconditional love that the Rose Quartz exemplifies. There's a level of depth that is being opened up to you. Maybe within the next 6 days to maybe 2-week period, you might start to feel more clarity around the emotional temperance that you've either been working towards for this past cycle of 9 months, or within the next few weeks, the next 2 weeks, you might start to see and sense the beginning of a new cycle. And it may be a 9-month cycle. So the next 2 weeks or so from the new moon in Gemini is right around the time that Mercury post-shadow is complete. So post-shadow is usually the time that we can get even more clarity about what the lessons were during Mercury retrograde and how it impacted us and where we want to move next, or what we want to do with that information. So make a note to check in right around June 18th, because that's when post-shadow ends, and see if on that day or around that week or the week after, or a few weeks after, the latter half of June, see around that time if you feel more clarity and more ease around your connection to your self-love and the intimacy with those that you care for. Ooh, I'm excited for you, pile number 4. Now let's see what animal spirit messages and animal spirits are with you during this time. The vulture. Ooh. Ooh. The vulture. Guardian and purifier. Essential for rebalance. The vulture is perhaps the most misunderstood creature of all. This intriguing bird balances our ecosystem and prevents the spread of disease. It does the dirty work that no one else wants to do, and it cleans up our messes. The vulture appears when there's a situation that needs to be purified or brought back into balance. Remember, the vulture energy is greatly undervalued. What you thought was a mistake or a tragedy is a blessing in disguise. When this energy is out of balance, we may feel dramatic or aggressive. I don't particularly love the word dramatic, but I don't love it because I've been called dramatic at other times in my life and at other times in my healing journey. I don't think it's a fair assessment of someone. But you know yourself. If you love the drama, use that word. To bring this energy into balance, you can sage and clean your space, like a real deep cleaning. And you'll know this energy is in balance when you feel a clarifying energy and it feels like wisdom is being revealed. Love that. Next, we have the spider. Oh, this is one of my favorite cards in the deck. Whew. Because it's so colorful, and every time it comes up, also this is the air element, I believe. No. Hold on, I get confused. Yeah, that's the air element for the vulture. And then for the spider, this is water and earth. Earth flows down. This is the earth element. Spider, creator of prosperity through our life's work, Dharma. The spider is an ingenious creator. Its greatest gift is weaving the thread of Dharma into a vast, intricate web that supports the spider and those around it, both financially and spiritually. It is hard work, but the spider neither tires nor becomes impatient. This card reminds us creativity is everywhere. Be process-oriented rather than results-oriented, and soon your work becomes like the weaving of a magical, priceless tapestry. Abundance follows. If this energy is out of balance, you may be feeling really tired and discouraged. To bring this energy into balance, playful creativity and You'll know this energy is in balance when you're feeling enthusiastic, appreciative, and prosperous. So that may be another piece of what's hidden in terms of the how that brings you to personal satisfaction. So you may want to create something with a sense of play. And maybe that'll also bring you towards feeling that personal satisfaction. Pile number 4. Next, we have the black egg, okay? We have an ether card. There are only a handful in this deck. Black egg. Speaking from an authentic voice, the truth. The black egg contains one of life's essential treasures, the truth. Inside of it resides no confusion, no excuses, no small talk, no noise, and no lies, not even white lies. This living and breathing vessel harbors only that which rings true. When this essence is in balance, we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like writing, reading, teaching, singing, or even public speaking. Sounds draw us in. Books draw us in. The concept of truth itself draws us in. We start asking questions like, what do I know to be true about myself, and what is true about the world? So something that you may know to be true about yourself, pile number 4, is that this shift in terms of your relationship to your ego is for your highest good. Something that you may know to be true about the world is that the timing of things always reveals itself. When the energy of the black egg is not yet accessed, we speak from an unsure place. We say things that others want to hear, we gossip, or we repeat stories to justify our subpar behavior. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. So that's when the black egg energy is out of balance. To bring this energy into balance, the energy of the black egg hovers and it waits for us to reconnect. Writing, reading, teaching, singing, or public speaking may help you bring this energy into balance. And you'll know this energy is in balance when you sense, understand, and believe that authenticity is available to you at every moment, in every situation. It's the epicenter of truth and the birthplace of your voice. And it's especially essential for writers, creators, musicians, teachers, public speakers. Wow. I love this, pile number 4. I love this for you. Lastly, we have the fire ant. All right, we got the fire element going. Aggression, rigid thinking, following orders. Fire ant energy flares up without us noticing. It's the force that attracts us to people and situations that feed our imbalances rather than those that counter them. Gossiping and blaming are a few indicators that misaligned fire ant energy is at play. You may also find yourself stewing on a person or a situation, only making things worse. How can you break free from the drama and cool down? Fire ants are surprisingly sensitive. Don't pretend the heat isn't getting to you. When this energy is out of balance, yes, you may be noticing that you're gossiping. These are the times we're noticing that we're easily triggered, We are argumentative, we're defensive. We may even physically feel that we have excess heat in our body, whether it's trapped or whether we're sweating a lot. We need to drink a lot of water. To bring this energy into balance, me time, have solo time. Go for a walk in the cool breeze of the evening. Sit with yourself just because you want to be with you. Maybe do something that's playfully creative. Or was that? That was a spider, I believe, right? And you'll know this energy is in balance when you're feeling thoughtful and you're feeling disciplined. Now, for our affirmations, right before we close out. We are one. Look up at the moon. The same moonlight connects us all. In the end, we are more similar than we are different. We are in this together. We are one. Look up at the moon. The same moonlight connects us all. In the end, we are more similar than we are different. We're in this together. If you're finding that your shadow and your ego are coming up and creating a sense of separateness between you and other parts of yourself, or between you and those that you have affection towards or you want to have a deeper connection with, remember that the same moonlight connects us all. Try to find some similarities between you and the other person or people, or some shared values between the parts of your shadow and the parts of your higher self, or other parts of your personality. Because there's probably some similarities. And lastly, we have your greatest challenges are your biggest blessings. Don't give up before the magic happens. You are leveling up. You're absolutely having breakthroughs. Pile number 4. Allow yourself to release what is no longer serving you, whatever's feeling really difficult right now. And it may just be a thought form. It may be a way that you are seeing yourself, or a way that you are seeing the situation that you need to release. Know that it is safe for you to love yourself and those around you, even if it doesn't always feel like it, even if it feels scary at times. If you are drawn to other messages within this reading, within this tarot card reading, I'll see you very soon. And if you've already checked those out, or if you were just drawn to pile number 4, then this is where we part. And I'll catch y'all in the future. Take care. Bye.